I guess. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. As always, I don't have anything prepared, so like, if there's no submissions soon, we're just gonna sit here in awkward silence. Oh, cool. Well, this makes my job easy, doesn't it? Because we already have a submission. I've had VT3 fail after hundreds of cycles. Well, that's good for you, because I've literally... Wait, hundreds of cycles, that's like... I think I did a test to like 7 hours or something once, and it still, like, didn't error out. And I'm not running stress tests for 2 days, so, like, if it's longer than, like, 8 hours, I am not doing it, because it's just impractical at that point. Especially because I've seen Cruncher not catch errors that, like, other tests catch in less time. So, like, I'm not replacing, like, Karhu with Cruncher. And I'm also not going to be running stress tests for 2 days intentionally. Anyway, so first submission, we've got a 7600 on a B650M-HDV/M.2. VSOC won't go much lower. Oh, so you have a potato CPU. TRFE 65,000 past Prime 95, but it was cold and still got to 58C. I think 58C is just about borderline for 65,000 being stable. Nitro settings. So the nitro timings, if you're in 1-to-1 mode at 6,000, I think it's supposed to be 120. Like, they're basically just more timings that, like, you can tighten them, and your stability is gonna, like, it'll potentially not be stable, but it'll be faster. 2-to-1 mode is a disaster. Yeah, so that lines up with my experience with this board. Even with tuned proc ODT. Okay, when you say tuned proc ODT, how do you know that you're actually setting it correctly? Right? Like, that's like the whole issue with all of the resistance settings is just... Like, you don't know if you need more termination or less termination or more drive strength or less drive strength because you can't see what's happening. So I'd love to know how you know if it was tuned correctly, because this to me just, like, you can, yeah, like, you can adjust the proc ODT, but that doesn't mean you actually set it correctly. Try different values, and none of them made a difference. Yeah, so it could be one of the other resistances that isn't set right. People seem to want a RAM buying guide. Yeah, I've noticed, and a motherboard buying guide, which infuriates me, because I'm not done with testing. Like, and unfortunately, I think I ran into a power delivery bug on the Tomahawk, which I need to verify now, which is just super annoying. Anyway, as for your settings, 30, 36, 36, 32, 30, 62, 8. Why 810? Isn't this 8i? Oh. Nah, at 6,000, even with 24 gigabit MDI, you should be able to run TRDL 8. Like, 10 is, like, you usually need that at, like, 7,200 or higher. At 6,000, that shouldn't be necessary. WTR is 214, TWR 48, TRFC 570. That seems correct. SCL is at 44. Yeah, looks good. So, next submission. Though, I think if you're stuck at 6,000, you might be better off running like 7600 2-to-1. Because 7600 2-to-1 is roughly competitive with 6200. But you're not even at 6200. So, like, you know. that like, if you want to mess around with something, you could try that. Anyway, so let's take a look at the next submission. We've got a 9950X on a ProArt Creator, 96 gigs of memory, running 32, 38, 38. Wait, what's this at? 6,000. That's a lot of SoC voltage. But 32, 38, 38, 38, 44, 82, 48, 20, 616, 512. SCL's at 44, dual rank timings at 6688. This looks fine. Oh, and then 40,000 refresh interval. So I guess your memory sticks run really hot. ECC RAM. Okay. I mean, like, technically you could probably run lower WTRS, but it's not like it's going to be massively faster. You know, the people who send in super chats at the start of the stream confuse me. Because, like, there's no other submissions. There's no queue. And then he redacted it. Oh, no. Well, I think I managed to copy it before. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, well. Thanks for the super chat, though. What does it mean? The thing with 2-to-1 mode is, like, at some point you reach a point where it just breaks. So, like, on a lot of motherboards, like, 7600 works great, and then you go one step above that, and it just completely disintegrates. Where's my super chat? I don't know, it, like, disappeared. And I don't know why. It might, like, maybe I clicked on something, when I tried to highlight the message, but I don't think I clicked on anything, so... Hooray, YouTube. Anyway, I got your submission, so... Let's see. 6200 at 1.25 SoC, so yeah, that's kind of terrible. This is 96 gigs. 30, 37, 37, 35, 30, 65, 812, 20, sure. 416, 48, 650. This is way high for 6200. That's like that's like 8,000 territory. 4, that's fine. 12, cool. 16, 4, 6, 6, 8, 8. Yeah, so that looks good, and then 65,000 refresh interval. So that all looks good. There's also some comments. Got a trash IOD. Yep, we can see that. UCLK won't do 3200. Yep. Won't do 3100 at 1.15. Yeah, that makes sense. FCLK won't do 2160 at 1.2. All voltage is auto and can run Prime 90 large FFTs for 6 hours without errors. I would really recommend that you also run something like TestMem5 or Karhu, not just Prime 95 large FFTs. Because this seems to be basically about, like, it seems to be a good alternative to, like, Y-Cruncher VT3 in terms of, like, testing the memory controller. I'm not sure that it actually, like, hits the memory sticks that hard. So, yeah, I'd also, like, if you want a free option, look into, like, running TestMem5 on it. So, that. Why is 6200 at 1.25 SoC terrible on the 9950X? It's terrible on everything. Like, if your CPU just, like, well, I don't know if it's terrible, but, like, it is a lot of SoC voltage for 6200. Like, if it worked at, like, well, I guess technically this probably would have worked at, like, 1.2-ish. Yeah, because it won't work at 1.15, which, fair enough. So it's not that bad. But the thing is, like, I don't know how how common 6400 capable CPUs are. So, like, this could be below average. It could be average. It could be well, I'm leaning towards this probably being kind of below average, but I don't know for sure. There's not really any, like, good binning statistics for this kind of thing. Anyway, I guess I'll take a look at the next submission. Oh, and I forgot to mention memory temperatures, but it's maxing out at 56. So yeah, this should be fine with that refresh interval. Anyway, oh boy, I copied the thing wrong. Oh, and I still copied it wrong. There we go. And we've got another... Ooh, wait. Oh, a 9800X3D. And it's running 6400 with 2233 FCLK. At 1.3 SoC. So, how many CPUs did you buy? Because, I don't believe that 2233 FCLK is stable. Now, so the thing about setting high FCLK is that it's not necessarily gonna crash. Your system's just gonna have weird issues. Does Mismatched PHY RDL affect system stability? As far as I can tell, no. But it does hurt performance a bit. So, yeah, I don't believe that 2233 FCLK. I kind of wonder if the X3D CPU might have less issues running 2233 because it, like, puts less stress on the Infinity Fabric or something. But that's still not a good reason to run it like that, in my opinion. Have you ever seen someone stable with 4400, 2200, 2200 on AMD for what, like an AP, like APUs will do that on AM4. But CPUs, no. How do I match my RDLs? I don't know. I should ask. Like, I'll try ask somebody who might know, but I kind of think that there's probably, like, in my experience, like, in 1-to-1 mode, for me, they usually match up, and then in 2-to-1 mode, once you're at high speeds, they just never match. Like, I've just, like, they're always 2 apart, so I don't know. That just seems to be inherent to high memory speeds. Anyway, in terms of timings, 20, 36, 36, 30, 40, 76, 66, 24, so that all looks good. WTRL 18? Okay, I mean, sure, like, lowering that probably isn't going to make much of a difference. TRFC at 384, 6, 6, 12, 16, 2, and yeah, 65,000. I wouldn't, like, the whole issue I have with the high FCLK is, like, you just stress testing it is an absolute nightmare. So, like, because it'll pass stress tests all day, and then you'll go do something, and it'll just stall for several milliseconds if it's not stable. So, yeah, this doesn't inspire confidence in me, but, like, it's not my system, so, like, if you're happy with however, so I can't tell if it, is an issue or not. I would lean towards it probably is a problem, but yeah. Oh, and 1-2 on Nitro. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Anyway, there's another super chat, so I guess I'll grab that. Wait. 8,000 on... Damn. Two to one mode. So I moved from Vengeance to Dominator Titanium. Last time I asked Corsair about this, they told me those are the same PCB. Like, literally the same PCB, and I don't know if they actually changed anything else. Also, the phase shifts not being... Though, I guess for DDR5 it might be different. But yeah, for DDR4, the RGB Vengeance sticks are the exact same PCB as the RGB Dominators. And they all have, like, compatibility issues with some other boards. But yeah, I guess for DDR5, maybe there's a difference? I kind of doubt it. Phase shifts are not needed. That doesn't... Well, I don't know. If they've changed the layout, I guess it might not affect this. Because as far as I know, this doesn't affect the signal. Like, this is, this should be moving the alignment of the signal, I think. It's not gonna... Because basically, with DDR, you have a strobe clock that's used for actually, like, registering the bits. And one of the issues with that is getting it lined up properly with all of the memory chips. And actually just sometimes the alignment of the command address bus isn't perfect to begin with, so yeah. But I'm not 100% certain what the phase shifts do. And also it's an Asus thing, so they might be calling something a phase shift when it's actually like a reference voltage adjustment. Because on Intel motherboards, Asus measures termination resistances in clock cycles, which is not a thing. Anyway, so yeah, this is this is really impressive. And this is on a... Oh, it's also on a gene. Yeah, so that helps a lot, I bet. I guess I might ask Corsair if they want to send me some Dominators. I kind of... The thing is like, we'll see, I guess, if I ask for them. Because... Like, I'd be leaning more towards that maybe you just got, like, lucky with these sticks. Or something. I don't know. I kind of avoid dual rank memory setups because they're just a massive pain. Um, oh, sure. Wait. So where did I leave off before the super chat? I guess I'll just see. So yeah, like this looks really good in terms of settings. I just don't really like. I have one 2x32 gig kit, and it doesn't even do low TRAS. So, oh, we got another Ryzen setup, man. I mean, I guess that makes sense that like at this point, really, Intel doesn't have anything interesting. So, yeah, so 9950X running 6000, 30, 36, 36, 76. This is auto. Man. This is auto settings, is what this is. Like, why do people just, like, how hard is it to search stuff up? Anyway, so, oh, why is it so big? Oh, I know, wait. Nah, we're just gonna, the font smaller. 14? No, that's still too big. So anyway, TRAS 40, 76. Actually, we'll leave that at 8. Well, no, 4. Wait, what? I mean, I guess I could have put RTP to 12, but it doesn't matter. I don't really care. If you can't look up my videos, then like you're gonna get slightly looser timings than optimal there. Um yeah, so that's my reaction to that. Um Anyway, so I think I looked at this one. So let me just check and then yeah, we just looked at that one. That's the 2233 FCLK. Didn't copy properly. Okay. And here we have a 6200, 30, 38, 38, 38, 30, 48. That is an interesting choice of TRC. 4, 420, 416, 48, 480, 44, 12, 16, 2. And 60,000 refresh interval. And VDD under 1.5 gives me errors. Yeah, it's not really very surprising, considering the, like, especially the TRRDs you're running. Like, I think that's basically just the TRRDs doing that. That if you set the VDD lower than 1.5, TRRDL is too short. Also, your FCLK is wrong for 6200. It should be 2066 or like 2166. It should definitely not be 2100. It's about as, like, that's basically about as bad an FCLK as you could choose for 6200. So, yeah, though if you're at 1.5 on VDD, I'm surprised that you're not at, like, CL28 instead of 30. And also, well, that's actually kind of it, is that, like, I'd expect CL28 to work at 1.5. So, let's grab another submission. And I think I copied that one wrong again. Yeah, I did. Okay, got it now. We got 9700X, 6400, 28, 35, 35. Man, that is really low TRCD for 6400. Wait, what board is this? Tomahawk. Oh. 1.45 VDDIO. Mobo refuses to go any lower or higher? What? Also can't touch VDDP? Because it crashes or because it, like, doesn't post? 1.3 SoC is the most stable. Well, yeah. Like, on a lot of CPUs it wouldn't work at all, so that's not really surprising. Can't use PBO with negative offset. However, if there's no curve optimizer, it's rock solid. See, I just don't use curve optimizer ever, so I don't run into this. Yeah, so I don't really have any solutions for using curve optimizer because I think it's a waste of time and I don't bother using it ever in the first place. So that's kind of that on as far as my thoughts go on that. 30, 62, 48, 20, 414, 422, 41, 12, 16, 2, 65,000. Oh, 1.6, 1.45. Yeah, this, like... That is a weirdly high proc ODT for an MSI motherboard, though. Then again, what BIOS are you on? No, you're on an A13. Yeah, so that is weird. Because A13... Oh, but I think I was running... No, I was running AIDA. Yeah, so that is weird. I think. I don't remember what mine was defaulting to, but I don't think, like... Don't think it was defaulting that high. So that might have something to do with that VDDIO behavior. Okay, next submission. How? But CL30 stable is just a matter of setting your VDD high enough. So that doesn't really make sense that you'd have issues with that. Also, if you need 1.24 SoC for 6000, your CPU's memory controller is terrible. Yeah, I don't really like the well, the TRC is weirdly low, but like I don't know why that would affect cast latency. In my experience, that would usually make the system not post. Right, is this? Oh no, it is 32 gig DIMMs. Yeah, so I don't. I mean, like these timings aren't great, but like I don't like if you're having issues, then I don't know why you'd be having issues. And YouTube's tab just crashed. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. It really hates it when I scroll up in chat for some reason. So like, I guess I'm just gonna have to give up on like trying to go in order because it just crashes if I stay scrolled up too far. Yeah. I mean, I'd also like if I were you, I'd probably focus on like raising the TREFI instead of like worrying about cast latency because that's more important from a performance perspective. And yeah, that's the main thing I would do with this. And then if you actually need this much SoC voltage for 6000 to work, then like it's not gonna go above 6000 because like 6200 will need like 1.4 SoC, which you can't set, and wouldn't want to anyway. Anyway, there is a super chat, so I'll go take a look at that now. On a 1700X3D at 6400. Whoa, I've never seen this before. Where's this from? Anyway, oh, that is a strong memory controller, doing it at 1.2. 30, 37, 37, 30, 30, 60, 4, 8, 16, 212, 4, 16, 4, 1, 28, 12, 12, 2, and single rank. And 1.45 on the memory, 1.3 on VDDQ, and yeah, this looks good. Just the memory voltage reading is bugged out because of high voltage mode. Yeah, this just looks solid. I don't really have much to say about it because timings are correct. I do wonder about this memory stress test. Oh, well, whatever it is, you ran it for like 13 hours, so assuming it's any good, it should be... Wait. Is this just some kind of like UI for TestMem5 to be less obnoxious? That's what it kind of looks like. It might be. Less clunky version of TestMem5. Oh, and it also switched me back over to top chat. Oh, and there's another super chat already. Well, I guess let's take a look at that. So, man, my voice for the last 2 days has not been doing great. And I'm not sure why. It's not like I've caught anything. So, this is what? A 12700K? Yeah. And it's on a Z790i Edge, running 7600, 36, 48, 48, 62T. Is this 24? No, this is 32 gigs. Okay, so 2x16. AA, 32T fall. TRFC of 576? What? That's really high. For AIDA at 7600, that is really, really high TRFC. TREFI at 32,000, cool. RTP at 11, which I think is a readout error in memtweakit. Might be. There's like a timing where memtweakit just like subtracts or adds 1 to one of them, and I can't remember which one it is. It's either TWR or RTP. And then we got TRD SG14, 8, 20, 20, 8, 12, 8, 66, 54. Tertiaries look good. TWR pre, TWR PDEN 66 and 66. This is a really, like, this is a better 12700K than I have a 13900K. Seriously, I have a 13900K that makes 7200 XMPs look defective. But yeah, like 7600 is doable on 12th gen chips with like the right motherboard and the right memory sticks and the right CPU. So this isn't too surprising. Especially because it's on the Z790i Edge Wi-Fi. So yeah, timings look good. And voltages, yeah, just 1.45 probably, or 1.47, not that it really makes much of a difference for VDD, 1.38 VDDQ. You don't need a lot of system agent voltage either, because that's like the funny, it's like Intel CPUs are permanently in like year 2 for DDR5. So you kind of get that, like, similar to how on AMD, if you're in 2-to-1 mode, you can run low SoC voltage. On Intel CPUs, you can run pretty low system agent up until, like, 76. Well, I'd say that. Some motherboards on some BIOS versions get really weird with system agent. But it's not, like, inherently necessary to run a ton of system agent to run, like, over 7,000 DDR5. Because the memory controller itself is running really, really slowly. Whereas if you run DDR4 on Intel CPUs, you need a lot of system agent voltage because you're usually going to be in Gear 1. And in Gear 1, you need a lot of system agent voltage so that the memory controller can run at, like, high frequencies. So anyway, yeah, this looks good. I have another submission. Oh. 5700X3D on a Asus B550M. Looks like Hynix, looks like XMP. Ugh. You just left all the timings on auto, didn't you? Except the primaries. Well, it was a super chat, wasn't it? Yep, it was. Okay, fine. Where's paint? And now it's too small. God. Still too small. Huh. Evidently that's why it was 20. Also, why is it not bold? I can't remember. Was it Hynix that was like it didn't... Was it either it did really low WTRs or really like, or one of them was really high? I can't remember. Fine, we'll just put in 12. I mean, it is G-Skill, so it's probably... Wait, what voltage is this at? Oh, it doesn't say, because of course it doesn't say. Nope, go away. We have hardware info open, but of course we didn't bother to scroll down to anything useful. Because why would we do that? Yeah, so I'm not sure about the TRFC, so I'll just ignore that. 4. Is this dual rank? Wait, what? Oh my god. Oh, no. Oh, this is so cursed. This is mismatched memory sticks. I just realized. I don't even know if these are like both dual, like if these sticks are both dual rank or both single rank. How very fun. Yeah, I'm not going to touch the rest of this because the rest, like... But just adjusting the TRRDs should help quite a bit in terms of performance. But I don't really want to touch anything else because this is like... Yeah. I don't know if it's triple rank. It could be triple rank, it could be dual rank, where one rank is like 16 gigabit chips and the other one is 8 gigabit chips. So, yeah, and that really makes this extra difficult because it's like, is it 2 Hynix kits? I'm assuming it's probably 2 Hynix kits because a lot of other combinations I think wouldn't really work. 1.4 and it's triple rank. Okay. Yeah, well, in that case, I would try. I'm not sure if this will work, but this is worth trying, is if you can run 4466 on the back-to-back timings. And then also, like, this right here is, like, not great, but I don't know what to do about it. Because this is really loose. Though that might just be the board being silly. Also, if this is all Hynix sticks, then you should be able to run like TRC 60 or something. which will be like, which does help quite a bit because TRC is pretty important from a performance, like for performance. So, yeah. Actually, if this is Hynix, you should be able to go below 60. Yeah, so that's about it in terms of my thoughts for this. Whereas, yeah, I'm not like the thing is I'm not sure if like on some motherboards if you try to change these, in my experience, it just stops posting, which is obviously not ideal. Um, but like I tried to get it to like 12 and 3 or something, like or 10 and 3, like 10-2, something like that, and it might work. So yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. And we'll move on to another submission. And we've got a 7600 on a B650M-HDV running 6400 with 2066 FCLK. That's interesting. I'm guessing 2133 didn't work or something? But 30, 40, 40, 40, 36, 68. Yeah, whatever. 4, 820, 616. Oh, this is my easy timings, isn't it? Yep, it is. Except for 24 gigabit. 600, 500, 400, and then 4, 4. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, this is obviously not, the absolute fastest settings ever. But, like, any further adjustments from here is just not going to make much of a difference, right? Because you're at 50,000 refresh interval. It is single rank. Our TP's at 12. The TRRDs are, like, the TRRDs are set correctly. Like WTRS and L could probably go 414 instead of 616, but that's not going to really make much of a difference. Your TRC, well, this is probably AIDA, so you could like try Titan TRP a bit. And you could probably Titan TRCD as well. Like a lot of kits will do like TRCD 39 or 38 at 6400 instead of 40. But like it's not going to make a huge difference at this point. So yeah, like if I had a daily system and I had this stress tested, I would just not mess with it at this point, right? Like if I'm happy with the if I'm happy with the performance this is delivering, I'm not touching it because there's not really much room for improvement at this point. Other than like trying to go for 2-to-1 mode and then potentially having to bend over backwards to get it stable, which compared to 6400 is just not really worth it in my opinion. The 6400, like, if it just works, then, like, why not? It's already fast. Anyway, let's do another submission. Also, thanks, Benjamin, for the €2. And there's not... Yeah, I didn't miss anything on this one. Okay. So, next submission, we've got Samsung 8 gigabit B-die on Corsair Dominators, but bad Corsair Dominators. 3200 CL16 bin. This is actually not that bad for a 3200 CL16 bin. This is actually really good for a 3200 CL16 bin. Because this is 3800, 15, 17, 15, 21, 36, 4, 4, 16, 4, 8, 10, 260, 4, 3, 14, 6, 9, 2. Wait, dual rank? Yeah, so 4, 2, 6, 4. Cool. Assuming, okay. Yeah. This is really not that bad for a low bin Corsair kit. Because, like, I've seen low bin Corsair B die kits where, like, they behave basically like C die, which this evidently doesn't. Because, like, yeah, the TRC DRD is weak, but, like, you can, like, that's really not the end of the world. Compared to some of the, like, badly binned B die is actually just horrendous. So this right here, this is actually quite good. TRCD17 is as low as I can go, and any lower it doesn't post. Yeah, that's just binning variants with B-die kits, unfortunately. And when you go for 3200 CL16, the binning, like, honestly, like, I would still say this is pretty solid silicon quality compared to some of the 3200 CL16 kits I've seen. Some of them are, like, really, really bad. So, yeah. Can't go above 1900 FCLK without hardware, like Windows hardware errors. Yeah, that's... I still haven't had a... This is 5000 series? Yeah, I still haven't had a 5000 series that can go over 1900. Admittedly, like, my sample size for 5000 series is 2 CPUs, but one is a 5950X and the other is a 5700X 3D. Neither of them goes above 1900 without errors, so... Yeah, not like the biggest sample size, but I just I don't expect it to work above 1900. RAM reaches nearly 53C in OCCT with GPU blasting the memory. It's not really a bad temperature. And your latency is solid. Windows 11 latency in safe mode. Yeah. Also, if you're wondering why he mentioned safe mode, it's because if like in safe mode you have less garbage running in the background, so that helps your AIDA latency results. It's another one of the reasons I don't like using AIDA, because like that latency test, like you can get bad latency in AIDA because you're not running it in safe mode, or because you have like some monitoring utility open, or whatever, and it just makes it a really not helpful test in my opinion. When you have like plus minus 2 nanoseconds based on what other software is open at the time. Which like to like yeah, like it's just because then somebody sees it and they're like, oh, why does my system have bad latency? Is it because my memory settings are wrong? And it's like, no, it's because your OS is full of garbage. That's why your latency is high. And when I say garbage, it means literally anything running in the background is a problem. So for AIDA latency, and also like rerunning the latency test a bunch of times, that also can get you better results. And so it's just like, it's not very consistent. Also, this is basically an idle latency test. It doesn't test like if you're in real applications, you're probably going to be processing more than one memory request every few milliseconds. The AIDA latency test is basically one memory request every few milliseconds, which is the main reason I don't like it, because even putting aside all the consistency problems and the fact that it just complains about any software running in the background, it is not representative of how most software interacts with the RAM at all. Like, there's probably like freaking web games that have more freaking memory load than the AIDA latency test. So, yeah. Anyway, let's grab another submission. Apparently I didn't copy that correctly. Got it this time. And we've got a 7600 on a B650 Aorus Elite AX. 6200, 30, 36, 36, 30, 30, 60, 4, 8, 20, 4, 16, 48, 420, 512, 4. Yeah, okay, so those are left on auto, I'm guessing. 4, 2, 12, 16, 4, and this is single rank. 1.2 volts SOC. Yeah, this looks good. And VDDG's at 1.95. Yeah, that's auto for a lot of motherboards these days, is setting the VDDGs to 0.95. Yeah, this looks good to me. I don't really see anything to complain about or fix. Just a solid 6000 CL30 setup as far as I'm concerned. So that's that. Another submission. How much performance are you losing by running 6200 instead of 6400? Well, that's actually really easy to calculate. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Oh no. Where's my calculator? Should just pin that. So 6400 is at best. Actually, I mean, if we go the other way around, it might be better. Assuming that all the timings are exactly the same, 6200 is about 3% slower in the like most memory bound benchmark ever. If your timings, which they probably will be kind of proportional, so basically it's like at most it's a 3% difference. Most of the time it's going to like it's going to be less than that. Right? That's like a basic sanity check for anything. You can just take your frequency and divide it by the other frequency. And if your performance is like, well, and generally speaking, your performance will go up less than the difference in frequency. Because it's not, you're not usually going to have just one thing be the main bottleneck. So usually, like, if you're overclocking the CPU and you're not running something like, say, Cinebench, which really doesn't care about anything but CPU frequency, but if you overclock your CPU by 10%, best case scenario, your performance is going to go up 10%, right? Similarly, if you overclock your RAM by 3%, best case scenario, it's going to be 3% faster. And most things aren't 100% memory bottlenecked, so a 3% memory overclock usually will be like a 1% performance increase, assuming that the workload even cares about memory at all, because if you run something like Cinebench, though maybe Cinebench 2024 is a bit different about this, but like Cinebench 15 or Cinebench 20, you raise the memory frequency by 3%, your score is not going up 3%. It's probably not even going to go up 1. So, yeah. Anyway, let's grab another submission. And this time it's a, what is it? A 5950X. And, ooh. This is bad. So bad. So very, very bad. Why do you send me things like this? You know, one thing I find funny is if RAM performance was actually that important, people wouldn't send me screenshots that look like this because, like I'll see people go like, oh, I can totally tell the difference in a memory overclock by mouse feel, and then it's like you see somebody running something like this, and it's like, nah. people can't tell at all. Because this is so bad. Like, if somebody told me that they can tell that like, well, no, I still wouldn't believe them, but, yeah, there's people who run memory settings that look like this. Like, this is a dumpster fire. This is so incredibly freaking terrible, like, how important is RAM performance? Well, you can run garbage like this and apparently be happy with your system, I guess, so evidently not very important. Okay, I did remember my settings. Okay, so, Where do we even start? I guess we'll start over here, okay? See this? Very important that this and this are the same number. If they're not the same number, your performance and memory latency are going to suck. So yeah, this sucks. We don't even need to worry. Like, the rest of the timings are also bad, but this right here is like the first problem that you should fix. And my suggestion, because I don't, like, not every CPU is capable of running 1900, is 1866. Because that, I don't think I've ever seen a CPU that can't do 1866. So yeah, so that, then the primaries. What is this memory kit? This is a 3618. Hynix based. Apparently. So if it really is Hynix based, no, it probably is, because like 39, yeah, so I mean 16. That might be a bit high for 3733. You know what? I'm just not gonna, like, the primary timings, it's just like I'm never sure about those. Like, because I don't know which exact memory chip this is gonna be. So we're just not gonna fix those because they don't matter that much. 2239 61? Yeah. Again, I'm not sure what memory chip this is. Is this single rank or dual rank? Oh, it's 16 gigabit. Okay, so that's a problem. Yeah, so I don't know what to do about the TRFC. Because I just don't, I have very little experience with 16 gigabit Hynix, as in basically none. Man, this is the second time that we've seen these, like, insanely loose TRDWR and WRRD. I wonder why that happens. Is this the same board? Oh, it's another Asus board, so maybe that's just like an Asus thing. I'm just gonna hope that, like, 12 and 4 works. So I'm not sure about those. But that's what I would like. I'd try that. But, like, just doing all of this will help quite a bit. And doing this will help a lot. Yeah. So that's that. Oh, I guess I could have pointed out that, like, 1866 is going to be 3733. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on this one. Man, I really feel like the thing is, I just, like, I am so overwhelmed with stuff to do that, like, I've wanted to test 16 gigabit Hynix chips more for a long time, because it's kind of annoying that, like, the only 16 gigabit chips that I've tested that don't massively suck are Micron 16 gigabit B-die, but that stuff is super rare, as far as I know. Like, it's not very common, and most people end up with Hynix 16 gigabit, and I have no idea how Hynix 16 gigabit behaves, because I don't have any of it. So it's been like a frustration for me with DDR4, where it's like I don't know anything about it. But at the same time, it's like I have so much DDR5 stuff to test that like, yeah. Well, anyway, there is another super chat, so let's go take a look at that. 13900 KF on a Z790 Aorus board at 7200. Okay, so that about lines up with my expectations. What is this font, man? This is horrible. My eyes. This is almost worse than the timings and like memory settings we just saw before. Almost. Anyway, so 1.4 kind of across the board it looks like. Yeah. Oh, wait, what? Oh, 72, 36, 44, 44, 44, 32, 10, 6, 650. And no adjustment of the tertiaries, like, at all, as far as I can tell. That's not ideal for performance. Yeah, that's not great. It's not as bad as that last one, though. But that last one was just awful. Wait, there's a bunch of images with this, so, like, I need to check if there's, like, something I'm missing. The AIDA latency, actually, the funny thing is, yeah, the latency is probably not going to improve with any of the adjustments I'm going to suggest because the AIDA latency test just doesn't really care. After 2 days, it was no longer stable. Did the same as your video with the yours. Maybe you can help me. Oh no. Yeah, I don't have a fix for that when the Intel systems just start doing Intel memory controller things. Yeah, this is kind of why I suggest that 6800 is the limit for the 4DIMM Z790 boards. Because above that, like, they just get weird and progress. Well, like, sometimes, like, it won't be too bad until, like, apparently there's some people who have gigabyte 4DIMMers that can run 8000. I can make screenshots of 8000. I can't run 8000. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about this. Like, if it's randomly losing stability after reboots, like, personally, I'd probably just clock it down. I would just run it at 6800 instead. I wouldn't spend time trying to fix it, because then you need to test it, and then you need to reboot and test it again, and reboot and test it again, and, like, do that a bunch of times, and even, you might do that 5 times, and then a month later you reboot the system, and the memory controller decided that it doesn't want a memory anymore. So, like, I don't really have a fix for this. Yeah, I'd probably just go down to 6800 instead. Or maybe 7000 won't have the retrain issues. Also, Dom, are you trying to send an entire link? You can't send full links. You have to send just the end of the link, just the last part of the link. Because if you post an entire link, YouTube filters it out. That's why the instructions are so complicated. Because if you could post links, they wouldn't need to be so complicated. Yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do about this. Phase shifts. I don't have any insight. Wait, please share. Yeah, I don't have any insights on that. Because, like, I straight up, like, as far as I know, those options are only available on Asus boards, and I didn't really, like, see them until recently. Oh, he figured it out. Yay! No, he didn't. Because that would... Also, you don't have to keep sending super chats in, but, like, just use the format that other people use. Yeah, that doesn't work. Oh, wait, nope, got it, got it. Don't send anything. I got it in the end. Oh, how convenient. This is a 6800 setup. On a 4DIMM Z790 motherboard. So basically run this. Actually, wait, no, this is MDI, isn't it? Oh yeah, this is 16 gigabit MDI. Because that is way too low TRFC to be anything else. 36, 42, 42, 42, 28, 2T. Really? TRD SG at 15? At least T falls at 32. 16, 8, 20, 20, 16, 8, 7. Yeah, these are really loose. So I guess I could do both at once. Wait, no, because this is M... Oh. Well, no, the secondaries aren't that different. Man, I hate dealing with Intel systems so much. Oh, and this is 24 gigabit. Okay, I'm not doing them both at the same time. We'll do this one first and then the other one. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. Oh, wait, I already copied this. Wait, is it way too big? Guess we'll find out. Where's paint? Yeah, it's not way too big. Cool. So, instead of 7200... Like, I think the retrain instability is just going to be down to the frequency. So, I'd probably... Oh, no, it's not orange. I'd probably go down to, like, 7,000 or 6,800, which, yeah, like... I wish I had a better fix for that, but, like, Intel is Intel, and they'll just... Like, I don't have... Like, the thing is, like, I'm not aware of any way of, like, taking an Intel system and figuring out what it's upset about. Because it's just... Yeah. Because, like, a lot of the boards will just boot, like, a massive range of different voltages will boot right up, and then, like, 90% of the settings aren't stable, so, like, yeah. Anyway, if you do drop down to, like, 6,800... Oh, boy. You know what? Okay, I'm just 6,800. I am not... I'm not dealing with this. Stupid Intel systems. Why haven't they fixed the memory retraining since 11th gen? Because seriously, this has been a problem with the memory controller on Intel CPUs since 11th gen. They introduced Gear 2 and they broke memory training. And I'm never forgiving them for that. Ever. Alright, this is 24 gigabit. Okay, so 10... I mean, you're already at 6, so we can just leave that alone, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Oh wait, you're on so on Gigabyte it's RD pre. And you can set that to 12. Yeah, for 6800 that should be fine. T-Fall's 26. I actually agree with that. That's a reasonable T-Fall value. Actually, at 6800, you might be able to run 14 instead of 16. And that is a bit faster. There. I would do that. And that should be a bit better. And at least it shouldn't, like, it shouldn't have any more retrain instability. Because it'll be at 6800. Oh god, Intel systems. Like, the most frustrating thing about it for me is that it has been an issue since literally 11th gen. And it's just not changed. It's just been broken since 11th gen, and it continues to be broken, where it's just like, yeah, you can have a memory overclock that's, like, perfectly stable, and then you reboot the system 5 times, and then it isn't anymore. Alright, so which submission is this? Oh, okay, I know which one this one is. Okay. Then there's a super chat that's just that's a thank you, so thanks. There's another submission. Actually, I'll do the other Intel one right now first. And I'll get this one ready. Why are you being stupid? Oh, for... Okay, and then we have this other one, which is at 6800. Actually, you can basically run the same settings as that other one, except with a different TRFC. Oh, man. Though, I'm surprised that you're at CL36. Like, that really shouldn't be a problem to run it at 34. Actually, RTP can often go even lower on Intel systems, but no. Like, there's not a lot of reason to push it super ridiculously low. I mean, 16 is good, 14 is an option, 12 is an option there. These two are actually horrendous. Now 44 is probably looser than it needs to be. Like, also with the TWR timings, I would actually expect them to go lower than that, but like 90 is very safe in my experience. Whereas less than that, you might start running into weird issues. And TCWL 32 as well. Like, the thing is, a lot of the time with Hynix sticks on Intel, you could set the cast write latency to like 24 or something, and it is faster. It's just that like very, very slightly faster. The main issue I have with suggesting that is like, I am not really like, there is some variance to how low you can push the cast latency. I mean, the cast write latency. And I don't have like a, oh, this will work on like 90% of memory kits expectation. So yeah, these are just like this. So this really doesn't need a lot of adjustments, mainly just like the tertiaries. And honestly, the main thing in the tertiaries there is like these. Like the 78 and 62 is just insanely loose for both of them. Like actually just ridiculously loose. There's no reason for them to be that high. So, yeah. Intel doesn't have TRC? No, they don't. Like, effectively, you run into TRC by setting TRAS too low. Like, there's certain memory chips that, like, on AMD, you can... Like, on AMD, you know that that memory chip can't run low TRC. And if you take that memory chip and put it in an Intel system, you'll find out that it can't run low TRAS instead, right? Because Intel doesn't have a TRC setting. Anyway, I guess next submission. Hopefully I don't need to make massive corrections again. Well, actually, that wasn't massive corrections. It was just like minor adjustments. Also, how long have I been streaming? An hour? Man, okay, well, we're gonna end at 2 hours. So 40 more minutes to go. I thought I would, like, move this stream to earlier in the day because I'd be, like, less tired. That didn't work. I strongly suspect that me being tired is, like, directly correlated to the stream itself and not the time of day. It's like, oh no, I gotta stream. Becomes tired. Oh man, this has all of the information. Oh, this is like a really dialed in 7200 setup on a 4-dimmer. Okay, we're not gonna look at this this rainbow coloration is not helping my ability to read things. Yeah, this really, and this part just clashes horribly with itself, and I don't like it. So let's just look at the timings instead. Okay, so 7200, 32, 41, 28, 36. Oh, well, I mean, if you're on a gigabyte motherboard, you can't adjust TRC DWR anyway, so we don't really need to worry about that for one of the previous submissions. TRP 36, 28, 8, 4, 430. Whoa, well, you better have good memory cooling with that refresh interval. RTP 16. Oh, and then we have the very low TWR pre. Yeah. Is there no comments with this? Man, there's so many, like, yeah, there's no comment with this. Cool. Or am I stupid and missed something? Oh, my YouTube tab crashed. Oh, wait, no, it just froze. It hasn't crashed yet. Oh, wait, no, I think it did crash. It just, like, barely recovered. Oh, and I can't reload it because F5 is, like, disabled on the live stream tab. Thanks, YouTube. Very cool. And it's broken! Oh, boy. Anyway, back to the timings. So, yeah, so the primaries and, like, secondaries, these are all, like, really tight. 14, like, this is effectively 14.8, 2020, 12.8, 68.46. You could probably push that 68 lower. Also, yeah, this one has the, like, super low TCWL. And then we have TRFC per bank lowered, which is good because that boosts performance. I unfortunately don't know anything about Intel RTLs, especially not about DDR5 RTLs. You have power down disabled that your TXP is on auto? I mean, this is an Asus board, so I guess you do have power down disabled, right? Because otherwise, if you don't have power down disabled, like lowering TXP... Actually, this is a funny thing, is because AIDA's latency test is so low, like low intensity, the power down mode basically puts the IO port, like the IO circuitry of a memory chip to sleep, right? And there is actually like the CPU isn't like hyper aggressive about it. Like it, it doesn't just instantly, like it doesn't like do a read request and then instantly put the memory stick to sleep, because that's stupid, because waking the memory stick back up takes time, right? So usually the memory controller will like put the memory stick to sleep if there's not a lot of load. The reason AIDA's memory latency test like sees a big improvement from adjusting like TXP and disabling power down mode is because it's so low load that there is literally no way to keep the memory awake. because there's like most memory controllers will have a register for like how long it'll wait before it puts the memories to sleep. And that wait duration for putting the memory to sleep is significantly shorter than the interval, like the gap between memory requests during the memory latency test in AIDA. So this is something I kind of want to test where like I don't think turning off power down mode has substantial like impacts on any real world like high load workloads. Because I think PyPrime is still like almost as light as AIDA, so that might still end up triggering power down mode. But I think like if you're playing a game, I think the game probably has enough memory requests that it won't have like power down mode won't just randomly turn on in the middle of your gaming session because that like you're actually reading and writing from the memory instead of sitting there doing nothing and then going like, hey, I want to read. Anyway, yeah, this looks really good. Like the primary timings, well, primaries, like the main timings look really good. And then also like you did do TRFC per bank. Did I miss anything? No. Okay, cool. So we'll grab another submission. Wait, did it switch to top chat? Oh, it did switch to top chat. That's so stupid. Okay, I'm gonna clean up the tabs a bit. We got a 5800X 3D running 3600 1622. What? That's weird. Yeah, that's really weird. Is this some kind of... Because in my experience, most memory chips that do TCL 16 can also do less TRCD than 22. That T-fall is bad. Really bad. Dude, this is weird. This is a weird setup. What did I copy? Yeah, so like T-fault, like you need to set that to 16 because otherwise your TRDs are literally not achieving anything in terms of performance. And then like TRCD timings, I would try lowering those. The rest of this looks fine though. And no, because you're like same dim, different dim, or 5 and 7 instead of 4 and 6. TWR could probably be lower than 26, like 12 or something. And then TRFC, I don't know. Because I don't know what this is in terms of memory. Like, I don't know what memory chip this is. I kind of suspect this might be CJR. In which case, I would expect like 16, 19, 19, 19, 39, 60, 4, 6, 16, 4, 12, 10, something like that. TWR 12 or TP 12 to work. And then like TRFC like 540, I think, or 550. How do you determine if you have Micron Rev E or B? Well, for DDR4, eDI is like an 8 gigabit memory chip. So if you have an 8 gig stick or a 16 gig stick and it has if you have a 16 gig stick and it has memory chips on both sides and it does good primary timings, it's probably eDI. If it does terrible primary timings, it's probably not eDI. And actually, when I say good, I should say decent, because good is like BDI. Everything less else is just by comparison. TWRD3, that's realistic. Yeah, that's actually kind of like that's what I would expect. Like this is auto as far as I know for MSI. Like 8.3 is like that's the defaults in my experience. it's like, that's why I was so confused with the like Asus setups that we saw earlier in the stream where they were at 18 and 7, which is like, I don't understand. Like, why is it 18 and 7? It might be because that was 16 gigabit memory chips, but it might also just be Asus BIOS things. Because like in my experience, Gigabyte and MSI, and I think even ASRock boards like will generally default to like 8.3 for your TRDWR and WRD. Anyway, I don't really feel like pulling up Paint for this. There is a there is another super chat, so I guess I'll grab that. Oh. Z694 dimmer, 6800. Is this 12th gen or 13th gen? 13th gen, 13700K. 6800, 28, 38, 16, 34, 32. Yep. So those primaries are slammed. 8, 4, 385, 65,000 refresh interval. RTP at 8. TWR set so low that it's bugged out. Actually, the main reason it's bugged out is because their TWR PDEN is set to 4, and for some reason, like MemTweak calculates TWR from the write to power down enable timing instead of from write to precharge, which makes 0 sense, but yeah, whatever. TFall 16, TCKE4, TCWL 24, 14, 8, 16, 16, 12, 8, 54, 44, 38. Yeah, this looks good. And then all of the dual rank and dual rank timings are set. Well, I should not dual rank. Multi rank timings are set to 0. Because like DD can be for quad rank, triple rank, and dual rank. So yeah, I should say multi rank setups. Anyway, yeah. So this looks good. I don't really like if. Yeah, like this is kind of, I guess, goal. Well, I wouldn't say goals, but this is like, because, you know, with Intel CPUs, obviously goals is running the memory frequency as high as possible. But when you have a 4 dimmer and you don't want to go insane, something like this makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I like this. And there's another super chat, so I'll just grab that. Oh no, there's still... Why did it get redacted? The hell? What did I... Freaking YouTube, man. Could you just post your, like, link again? Actually, just post your entire super chat again. But not with, like, without paying for it. Just, like, I'm watching chat right now. Unless the tab decides to crash right now. Sorry, posted wrong. Wait, what? Oh, you posted wrong screenshot. Oh, okay, so it wasn't, like, me accidentally deleting it or something. There's a question. Oh, wait, no, that is a link. Is it a link? No? Damn it. What? How do you... Oh, now it works. So apparently that required the /a/. Okay, anyway. I got a 6200 CL24 set up. So these are some serious memory sticks. 24, 36, 36, 30, 30, 60, 4, 6, 20, 4, 14, 48, 372, 4, 1, 11, 16, 4, single rank. 65,000 refresh interval. Yeah, no, this is maxed out. This, yeah, and also 2200 FCLK. Like if you can't run higher memory clocks, this is maxed out. Like this isn't getting better. So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have much more to say about this because this is basically the peak of what you can do at 6200. Assuming that it's stable, of course. I mean, maybe you could try lower TRCD to 35, but, like, not every memory stick is going to do that. Anyway, is another submission? Yeah, so we'll take a quick look at this. Oh, 6400, 1.4 on VDD and VDDQ, MSI motherboard, 1.44 I/O. Cool, so just set all of them to 1.44, that makes sense. 30, 38, 38, 34, 40, 60. I don't think that TRC is real, but that's fine. 4, 8, 16, 4, 14, 48, 312? Oh, A die. And then 4, 2... Wait, what? What? 97 nano. What? That's crazy low. On the TRFC. This is 120-ish. Yeah, this is exactly 120 nanoseconds. And then... I'm surprised that works. I'm really, really surprised that works. Like, if it was at some, like, crazy voltage or something, it would kind of make sense, but it's not. It's at 1.44. Anyway, 4, 2, single rank, 12, 22. Yeah, so this is a really... Like, this is just a... I mean, like, that TRFC doesn't seem correct to me, but other than that, like, this is a really fast 6400 setup. TWRD is 2. Yeah, that's normal for DDR5 Ryzen systems. Actually, a lot of the time you can even set it to 1. I kind of suspect that it doesn't do anything. Wait, did you not stress test this? Well, if you didn't stress test this, I think that TRFC is going to crash. Because, yeah, like, that is really, really low. 4 hours of test mem 5. Huh. That should, yeah, no, that should have caught it if it's too low. That's interesting. Well, I guess I have something to test with some of my AIDA kits, but... I wonder, like, maybe there's just, like... I wonder, like, maybe there's, like, a new die revision that just does super low TRFC, but that's it's crazy. That's like DDR4 level. That's not even regular DDR4, right? Like, there's a lot of DDR4 that doesn't do 300 TRFC at, like, 3600. And this is doing 300 TRFC at 6400, which is just insane. Anyway, I guess I'll grab another submission. And we got a 5800X 3D with some Micron E-die. Dual rank. Okay. 8 gigabit E-die in dual rank. So 16, 16, 20, 16, 34, 60, 4616, 412, 16, 570. Those SCLs would probably work at 4.4 instead of 5.5, and that's a little bit faster. 12, 8, 4. Yeah, so basically my only complaint about this is the back-to-back timings. Where's paint? Come here. So 4, 4, 4, 4, and then the 6, 6. And that should work. And it'll be a bit faster. Like, mainly it'll boost your memory bandwidth a bit. And that's about, yeah, that's basically all it'll do. Everything else looks fine to me. Right. Oh no, what did I click on? Ah, nope. Oh, I'm just way zoomed in. And this is at 1.44 on the memory, so it's not even like crazy voltages or anything. Yeah, no, this looks really, really sensible. So I wouldn't change anything about this. Like, if this is stable, I don't really... I mean, well, I would change the back-to-back timings, but... Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this. TRC has to be at least RP plus RAS. Not... Well, the thing is, if you set it below that, I'm pretty sure it gets auto-corrected to RP plus RAS. That's why I said, like, that's probably not, like, that's why I said, like, oh, if your TRC is set to, like, below TRP plus TRAS, it's probably not real. Like, definitely on AM4, it works that way, where if you set your TRC, like, unstable, like, so low that it would be unstable, and then you just set TRAS really loose, then it's fine. Like, it'll be stable, because the TRC gets overridden by a really high TRAS and TRP. But on AM5, I tried testing for that, and it wasn't really that consistent, so I don't know exactly what's going on with AM5 with that. Anyway, there's another super chat, so I guess we're going to do that next. And I copied it wrong. Okay, got it. And it's a 9950X, that's 6400 with 96 gigs of memory. 6400, 28, 30. Oh boy. Got, yeah, 6400, 28, 37, 37, 34, 30, 64, 8, 10, 32, 4, 14, 48, 544, 42, 44, 66. That is interesting that your dual rank timings are so low. Also, this is an Asus board, and yeah, we've got the typical Asus special of extremely high VDDQ. Not that it's like dangerous or anything, it's just like a thing that like on a lot of other motherboards, high VDDQ really doesn't work, and then on Asus boards it's often a requirement for stability. So yeah, this looks good in terms of timings. And then it's 3200, 2133, 3200, 1.24 SoC, so it's not like this is a solid memory controller on the CPU. So yeah, this just looks like a really solid 2x48 setup. Stable and stressed with Testmem 5 and Karhu. Yeah. I would not change anything about this. This looks good. So I guess we'll grab the next super chat. And we got a 7950X, 6400. Oh, another dual rank setup. Running 6400, 1.25 SoC. Wait, there was more. 1.2 also seems stable. I mean, at 2133 FCLK, I wouldn't expect a high SoC voltage to be causing too many issues. It's more like a... It's usually a problem if you're pushing for like 2166 or 2200. But for 6400, like running 2133 FCLK is perfectly good. So yeah, 6400, 28, 37, 37, 32, 30, 58. Yeah, see, this TRC I don't think is real. It doesn't really matter, but... like, I think it gets auto-corrected to 62 instead of 58, but... like, testing for that from, like, a performance test perspective is, like, not really an option. So, because that's just, like, one timing by... like, you're adjusting one timing that is not super... like, if you're doing, like, raw bandwidth, TRC is basically irrelevant. This is, like, a timing that affects memory latency if you're row hopping constantly. Like, if for some reason you have a, like... and the thing is, you can't really intentionally trigger the situation that causes, like, well, you'd basically need a giant array of data packed in the memory, like, absolutely enormous, so that there's no way that you get, like, 2 hits in the same row in a row, right? So you have this, like, giant data blob, and then you have to hop around in that blob constantly, and that'll, like, trigger TRC a bunch. Because basically, and even then, it might, like, the memory controller might be able to kind of hide it pretty well by just interleaving. Because if you send, like, 8 memory requests for 8 different addresses that are all in different rows, chances are those rows are not right next to each other. Right? Which is what TRC is specifically for, is, like, if you need to change rows in the same memory bank. But if the rows that you're accessing are all in different memory banks, then TRC doesn't actually matter, like, at all. So, yeah, this one's an annoying one to test for, but it doesn't really matter that much. And if it's stable, then, like, yeah, whatever. 4820, 416, 48, 477, 42, 20, yeah, 12, 16, 2, 8899. Yeah, no, this is dual rank. You need to not run these at 8899. It should at very least be 6688. You could also try for like 4466, but in my experience that didn't work. Or even like 6666, that might also work. Like, basically you want to get the SDDD timings as low as possible. If you do, like, you could manually try tuning them down. Like, the thing is, these usually break pretty clean, as in, like, if you set them too low, it just won't post, instead of being like, oh, it'll like, error out in 3 hours or something. So that's kind of nice about those, is that usually if you set them too low, it just stops the system from posting, instead of, you know, requiring, like, ridiculous amounts of stress testing to figure out if they're stable or not. Anyway, did the tab crash? I think the tab might have crashed. Yep, it did. Gotta love that. Anyway, next submission. And I copied it wrong again. You'd think at this point I'd get better at it. 7800X3D, 6200... at 1.236, yeah, so if that SoC voltage is at all minimized, you're not doing 6400 on this CPU. 28, 36, 36, 28, 30, 58. Huh? Is this a follow-up to the previous submission? Or like a follow-up to somebody else's submission? Because I feel like I've seen this, but wait, no, we haven't seen a... wait, have we seen a 7800X3D today? We must have. Anyway, Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but just, well, like this is the thing. If you're setting your timings correctly, they're all, and you're all using a Hynix memory sticks, they're all going to end up looking very similar. So yeah, that's not too surprising, I guess. Anyway, 4820, 414, 48, 372. 4-2, and this is single rank, and 65,000 refresh interval. Last 10 minutes. Oh, there's another super chat. So let's wait. Yeah, so let's do that one. Hey, I copied it correctly first try. Okay. 9950X, and oh boy, that memory can. Wait, no, you're on a hero. This is auto SoC voltage, isn't it? Oh god, this is auto everything. Okay. Oh, and this also has the wrong FCLK again. Oh boy. Oh, I didn't copy the FCLK part of it. Well, where did my... Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay, so, this should be 2066 if you're going to be at 6200, not 2100. Oh, I know why that's at 2100. Asus defaults to that for some reason. Yeah, Asus defaults to 2100 FCLK on their newer BIOSes. Really, well, I guess it gives them slight performance boot benefits. And it's basically, it's really unlikely that it wouldn't work. But yeah, it's not ideal for 6200. I mean, yeah, because we're in 1-to-1 mode. May as well. This is probably AIDA, but like, eh. I mean, it is on a X870 board, so it is probably AIDA, so I'll just go 422. Oh my god, why are these so bad? Like, the dual rank timings over here are, like, atrocious. And they do have a 65,000 refresh interval. There, I would do that. You need to stress test lower SoC voltages? Yes. If you're lowering the SoC voltage, you don't, like, if you have a potato CPU, it might actually need 1.3 volts SoC to run 6200. Right? So if you have a potato, and then the motherboard defaults to 1.3 volts, and it's, like, stable, and then you lower it from 1.3 to 1.28, it might not be stable anymore. And, like, you can definitely, like, the SoC voltage as you're lowering it, like, there will be points where it's, like, borderline, where it, like, almost works. It's not like there's certain things where if you just set them wrong, it doesn't work at all. But SoC voltage is not one of those. If it's slightly too low, it's just going to cause errors that take forever to pick up on. So yeah, this is what I would do to the timings. And then I would try probably to lower the SoC voltage a bit, because while it's not, like, you know, it's not super unlikely for a CPU to not be able to do 6400. It is quite unlikely that it actually needs 1.3 volts for 6200. Like, I would expect most CPUs to be able to do 6200 with around 1.25. And probably the easiest way to check minimum SoC voltage is to intentionally set it so low that it's completely unstable and then run it like several, like a bunch of, like a lot higher than that. Right? Like if it definitely doesn't work at like, I don't know, 1.18, then if you run it at like 1.22 or 1.23, it'll like I'd say it's almost certainly going to work. Like you're still going to want to run that stress test. But at least you're not going to run into that, like, oh, 3 hours later it errored out, and then I need to, like, raise the voltage by 10 millivolts, run another stress test, right? Yeah, there's, like, the thing is, like, 1.3 SoC is not going to, it's not going to break the CPU. Like, there's a reason the SoC voltage limit is set to 1.3 volts. But, it raises your idle power consumption, and if you don't need it, you know, you're just like there's like I wouldn't spend hours and hours trying to minimize my SoC voltage, but at the same time I don't really see a reason to run 1.3 for 6200. So that's my thoughts on that. Is 1.25? No, 1.25 isn't too high for daily. Like even 1.3 is like it's not going to break the CPU, it's just unnecessary. Right? And it does eat into your idle power consumption, though if you don't care about that, then like you could just leave it alone. Anyway, I think that'll be the last submission. Is this next super chat. Wait, did I already? No, I didn't copy it properly. Yep. There we go. Ooh, a 14700K. My favorite Intel CPU. Unfortunately, you don't see it in the wild very often. Which I don't understand. Why would you pay for extra E-cores? What is wrong? Anyway, so 14700 KF, G-Skill Flare X 2x8. Are you seriously running a 14th gen with 16 gigs of RAM? Do you hate having performance? Is this seriously on 16 gigs of memory? Like, wait, missed whose submission? Oh, well, you're not a super chat, and super chats get priority. You know what? If there's time, I'll grab yours too. You're running a 1080 Ti with it. Wait, then why do you have a 14700K? This doesn't make any sense. Like if you only have 8 gigs, if you only have 16 gigs of RAM because your GPU is slow, why a 14700K? Because like evidently this isn't a workstation, because if it was a workstation, 8 gigs of RAM is probably going to be grossly inadequate. Will you open super chat? No. Like, we're not closing because I ran out of time. We're closing because I'm tired. There will be another stream next Monday, probably. But anyway, so the thing is, like, dual rank DDR4 loses to single rank DDR5 with Intel CPUs. Like, if you're running DDR5 at like 6800, that's just faster than any DDR4 configuration you can really do. Single rank DDR4 is even slower than dual rank DDR4. And it doesn't matter what you do, because single rank is just like clock for clock, way slower. So while these are actually really nice settings, you're on single rank, so this is slow, right? Like that's the whole issue with single rank is like, yeah, you can tighten all the timings in the world, it's still going to be slow because it's not dual rank. So this is what, 16, 16, 16, 36. So these primaries aren't even that crazy. I mean, it is at 43, 33, so that, you know, yeah, so that's kind of well, there are CPUs that'll do basically these settings on dual rank setups. And if you were running dual rank at like 4266 or 4200 with the same timings, that would just be faster. Like, a lot faster. Not in AIDA, though, because AIDA's a terrible benchmark. Anyway, we've got 1T command rate, because single rank, 44, 308, 65,000, TWR9, RTP6, TFOS 16, CKE2, cast write latency 12, 8, 4, 14, 14. I'm pretty sure at 4333 these could both be 12, not 14, but it's not a huge deal. And then 2622, so that looks good. And then all of the dual rank timings are just 1, except for 2 of them for some reason. Those are a 10. I don't know why. Doesn't really make sense because this is a single rank setup. Also, actually, what's really funny, and I'm not sure if this is still a thing, but on some motherboards, if you have your dual rank timing set to 111, and you then upgrade from single rank to dual rank, it'll still post. And it'll just perform like garbage. I don't know why that happens, but that is a thing. It'll just perform like complete trash if you set your dual rank timings to 1 and then and then upgrade from a single rank setup to a dual rank setup. Anyway, TWR pre 26. Yeah, so the timings all look good, but the thing is, this is a single rank setup as far as I can tell, and therefore it is slow. So, good job on the memory tune. Nice AIDA latency. Real shame it's not relevant to any real-world workloads. Or it's not as, well, it's not irrelevant. It's not completely irrelevant, but it's really, like, AIDA has, like, a lot of issues where, like, there are certain timing adjustments where if you run games or certain proper memory benchmarks, it'll make, like, a big difference to the performance. And then if you make that same adjustment and measure it with AIDA, it does nothing because AIDA is not good at testing memory performance in a way that is reflective, because basically you have a sequential read test where it just, like, basically this read test only checks your tertiary timings. The write test only checks your, actually it doesn't even check all of your tertiary timings. It literally just checks your read to read same group. That's it. And I guess different group if for some reason you set it to something other than 4. And then write, like, that only tests write to write same group, different group. Copy tests, like, a mix of the tertiaries a bit, but it's still mostly sequential. And the latency test basically wakes up the memory sticks every couple milliseconds and goes, hey, I want to read something. So it basically checks if power down mode is turned on and then, like, your cast latency, I guess. Because I'm not even sure if it's row hopping for that latency test. Because row hopping is expensive when things aren't or conveniently in the one row that you already have ready to go. Yeah. Like, your timings are nice, but I really think if you care about performance, you should probably look at a dual rank setup. Nah, even like clicking the latency test 50 times, like that's not going to change it. Like my issue with that latency test is that it's not representative of how real software accesses memory at all. And there's nothing you can do about it. Anyway, that's the whole reason why I've stopped including AIDA in my memory videos, because it's just like this benchmark is... Like, it can tell you some things, but it's very limited in terms of its utility, and I don't like that it's popular. Because especially now there's, like there are there's ClamBench, which does a much better job because it actually goes through, like, memory requests from, like, very high load to very low load. But like all the memory latency testers also have the issue of if you run them after all of your stress tests are already open, they don't run as well. So yeah, that's also annoying. Um, anyway, um, have you had your hands on an A620 board? No, because they're bad and they're not cheaper than the B650. They're not significantly cheaper than the B650M-HDV. Okay, let's quickly take a look at this. Well, this one looks easy, doesn't it? 7800 X3D, 6200, 32, 38, 38, 38, 28, 68. Sure, 4, 8, 20. Oh, this is just my easy timings. 6, 16, 500, 4, 4. Just with refresh interval maxed out. It's single rank, so we don't need to read the rest. Yeah, so you whoever sent this in, you successfully copied my Hynix easy timings. Good for you. Um, I don't know what else you expect me to say. Like, I wouldn't recommend them if they weren't, halfway decent. Like, they're not meant to be peak performance. They're meant to work on like 99% of systems. And I guess you are running them at 6200, so that's a bit better, I guess. Anyway, there was like one more submission that I wanted to take a look at, and then I'm ending the stream. B660. What? This is DDR5? Can't get over 5,000. Yeah, but I don't know why that would be. Are you using a contact frame or something? Because this is single rank, so like I don't see why it wouldn't work. Like one of the issues with the wait, I'm not sure even the board might suck. Anything try changing? I mean, you could just look at some of the other Hynix submissions that were in the live stream and see how those do at 6200. But like on your setup, like you could try lower TRFC, I guess, a little bit. And maybe like instead of WTRS 616, you could try like 414. But it's like at this point, it's not gonna make it like it's not gonna drastically change your performance at this point. So I don't know why you'd like. You could also try cast latency 30 instead of 32, and maybe like TRCDRD at like 36 instead of 38, and so there's like a bunch of timings that you could try lowering by basically 2 ticks, and it might still work, and it'll also perform basically the same. But you could go do that if you want to do that. Mainly just like TCL, TRCD, TRP, and WTRs. And like TRFC, I guess you could drop from like 500 to like 420 or something. Anyway, as for this B660 setup, I have no idea why this doesn't go over 5,000. I'm not like I don't see anything wrong like with the time. Like I don't see anything with the timings that would cause it to not go over 5,000 because like these are all on auto. So like my main thing I'm wondering is like, do you have a contact frame? Is the socket like not? Because that's like a potential issue with LGA 1700 is if you have the heatsink over tightened or not tightened enough, or like yeah, like I don't know. Oh, I think my YouTube chat tab crashed again. Yay! Yep, it did. So, yeah, I don't know a fix for this. So I guess I'll press the what is it, stop streaming button at this point. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description that you could check out, and that's it. Yeah. Goodbye.